Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're talking about the NBA. Since now college football season is getting close to being over, NFL is about to hit its playoffs. We'll be discussing that whenever that officially comes out. It's time now to discuss basketball. I did one video talking about the Pistons, giving a live reaction to how they lost to the Celtics and how they did that, which was mesmerizing to watch. So check that out if you check that out on my channel, of course. But today we are discussing one of my favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are very good right now. They are second in the conference, and I think they're one game behind the Timberwolves, which is honestly very impressive from a team that was barely in the play-in last year to now being in a chance to possibly get a top 2 seed in the West. I know it's like the first 35, 40 games, but we're getting close to All-Star season, and seeing how good the Thunder has performed against very good competition is very exciting for a Thunder fan like me, who I've been a fan right after Kevin Durant left. I became a fan the following season, which is different than a lot of other people I know. But I was a fan of Westbrook, and this is the best team I've probably seen from this group. Maybe outside of that first year that we had Paul George and Westbrook. It's one of the better years that we've ever had. And right now, the Thunder, we sit at 23-10. One game behind the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are 24-9. I think they're 1-1 against us this year. I could be wrong about that, but I think so. And the Thunder are led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's on pace to do something that's never been done before, which is 30 points on average with less than 2 turnovers. He's at 1.9. If that changes at all and he gets like 3 turnovers in a game, then yeah, that's going to be probably downhill for that stat. Because once you get over that point, it's tough to get that back down consistently. Unless you're like Tyrese Halliburton, who just never seems to have turnovers, but a bunch of assists, which is very impressive. So shout out to him. Stuff of that nature. The Thunder, one of the reasons why people are calling them the best team in the NBA is because they have beat the Celtics, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets all within a pretty recent span, about a 2-week span. Celtics are the best team in the East with a 26-7 record. They're 2.5 games ahead of everyone else. The Timberwolves are the first team in the West, and they beat the Nuggets at Denver by over double digits, and I think they beat the Timberwolves by double digits too. So this is a team that should be feared by a lot of other teams, especially because they're young. They're 23.5 years old. Like, the average age for a player on their team is 23.5. Like, that's insane. That's ridiculous. And there's a lot of other teams in the West that have been hitting their strides recently. The Clippers have been very good. The Mavericks have been good. Not really the Mavericks, actually. The Pelicans have been pretty good recently. The Nuggets all have good records recently. The Jazz do too, strangely. They're 7-3 in their last 10. And there's some teams in the West that are just on a downfall. The Lakers they're 2-8 in their last 10. Rockets 4-6. Mavericks 4-6. Teams like that. Then a lot of other teams are just kind of stagnant in the middle of everything. And shout out to the Pistons. They're 3-31. They had a great game with the Jazz last night that the Jazz won. So yeah. But the Thunder, they have, I'd say, maybe 2 weaknesses. 2 weaknesses, I would say, is one, their consistent ability to get rebounds. That was a problem last night against the Hawks. That was one of the reasons why we lost. It's because of the rebounding. It's that interior defense related to stuff, physicality purposes. Clint Capella was very good. When you have we don't really struggle heavily against guys like like a very high offensive ability centers, because Chet's a very good defender there and a good help defensive team. But when you have the main focal point of your defense that's usually on a guard or a forward, and your focal point is to guard that, sometimes the other guys, like maybe an Andre Drummond or Clint Capella, like we just said, sometimes can take over the rebounding department and interior presence that they probably shouldn't have, but they end up getting because your focal point is on more of the perimeter. And the other weakness that this team has is holding leads. They have blown big leads. They blew a 22-point lead against the Pelicans. They allowed a 30 to nothing run against Mavericks. Even when they were up by 22, somehow they still won. I think they blew a lead to the Warriors, and they almost blew a lead to the Celtics. They are getting very close to blowing big leads. If they're a little bit closer, like if it was a 10-point game against the Celtics, they would have lost. Stuff like that. And that's something you got to clear up, especially by playoff time. Got to clear up those things because you got a lot of veteran teams that are in a little bit lower part of the conference right now, like the Warriors and like the Lakers, that you probably don't want to have to deal with that type of stuff against them because no one wants to blow a big lead. That's obvious. No one wants to blow a big lead. That's one of the worst losses you can have, is having a lead game in your hands and blowing it. You don't want to even attempt that, a possibility, especially some teams that can get hot at the right time. You don't want that to happen. The Celtics were one of those teams that can get hot, and they did, but they were able to hold them off, which was interesting. But the Pelicans, that's one of the main things you got to look at. You might have having to play them early in the first round or second round. Who knows? We've not been past the first round in, I think, since KD's left. I don't think we've been past the first round. So that'd be a whole thing in itself. But a big positive that the Thunder have is they're usually a very good third quarter team. They've usually able to pull away against teams like the Celtics, like the Timberwolves, like the Nuggets. In those games, they've made separation. They had a little bit of a lead or only a little bit down by a little bit at halftime and then just extended and went crazy in the third quarter. Hopefully, we're able to continue that into the fourth. Also, this team does not have a lot of injuries right now. Knock on wood here. Hope they don't get hurt. Hope no one gets hurt. But they've overall stayed reasonably healthy throughout the year. And you have the Josh Giddey situation outside of everything, but that's not an injury. That's just him making some weird. That's him making some poor decision making. And if that stuff is true, that the NBA will deal with that when the time is needed. But we're not a team that's super cocky. We play as a team. I love how Chet plays defensively. He's a very good three-point shooter. He hit a lot of big threes in the game against the Celtics. He's a big-time player. Shea, when you need a shot, you go to him. He's one of the most clutch players in the league. J-Dub, he had a big shot against the Celtics. He's a very good player. Sometimes questionable decision-making, passing. He had a really weird entry pass at one point. He has some stuff like that. But overall, he's very good. We have some good shooters. I would like more of an interior presence when it comes to physicality purposes. I think an Andre Drummond or pick up the Dwight Howard or someone like that would be great for us. So we can have a veteran presence on the team that's been places and done good things and all that sort of stuff that can let Chet go to the perimeter defensively, who's a very good shot blocker, even on the perimeter. He can get a hand up and get on the ball. He's pretty good at that. So we will need someone like that. So hopefully we're able to make a move of that nature. We have a lot of picks, as many as you can think of, as many you could want. So we can throw a pick and a fill-in player and get someone. Because we have some bad contracts, I'm pretty sure, on the team. I think we might have some. But we can make a trade to get someone, and I think we'll be able to be fine off of that. I'm not sure how we match up with the teams like the Timberwolves. I'm not sure how we match up well against them. Because they did beat us in the play-in tournament last year by a lot. But they did have Mike Conley at the time. I don't think he's on their team anymore. But stuff of that nature. The Thunder are a matchup nightmare for a lot of the teams because they can go on runs, because they're an overall pretty good defending team. They're top 5 in offense, I think, efficiency and defensive rating or something like that. And they had a bad performance against the Hawks yesterday. That was very bad, but they still almost won. They fight till the end. They never give up. It's a very good team right now, and they have a chance. They do have a chance to make a final run, but they're very young, but they do have a lot. It's really different than a lot of their teams. This team has playoff experience. Shea's been in the playoffs a couple times. Lou Dort's been in the playoffs a couple times. As a lot of these players have played in the play-in last year, so they know what a big environment is like. Of that nature, all of them are on the road. The Thunder crowd gets hyped a lot. Seeing how these games are played here, you're going to see how that is. Just hopefully don't run into a veteran team in the playoffs in the first round that have been there and done that. Mainly I'm talking about Golden State or a Phoenix or a team like that that's been there and has done successful things in the playoffs. I'm not talking about maybe won titles, but if you've made one, that's impressive. That's some good playoff experience right there. So stuff of that nature, I think the Thunder will be tough to go against, but the age factor, that they're young, they stay overall pretty healthy, is a big thing. So that's my opinion about the Thunder. I think they're one of the better teams in the NBA right now, and they arguably are the best, but I would like to see us continue that. I want us to get the first seed before I officially say we are the best team. So, yeah. But a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that. And it's interesting to see. Some people are saying the Nuggets. Some people are saying the Celtics. Some people are saying whatever. So, yeah. Put it in the comments what your opinion about this is. This is my first time really talking about like the NBA fully. So I might do more of these depending on the days and stuff. So hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, y'all. And God bless y'all.